Yes, you're very welcome along to Darver this fine Saturday evening for the final of the 2025 Cardinal O'Donnell Cup between St.Mochtas and St.Josephs. Set to throw in here at 7 p.m. as the teams are just going through their final preparations. There's a big crowd filtering in as well. Beautifully fine evening. There's a strong wind blowing from left to right as we look at it on this near side from the clubhouse side of the ground here in Darver, but we'll just wait and see who is the team to play wind assisted in this first half. We'll take a check on the teams. To the best of our knowledge, no changes on the St.Mochtas team that was listed in the programme, and they line out with Darragh O'Shea in goals. Full back line of David Lennon, Ben Goss-Kieran and Liam Lawler. Oisin Callan, Andrew English and Andrew Lennon make up the half back line. Darren McMahon partners Sean Flynn in the middle of the field. Shane Lennon, Jerry Garland and Craig Lennon is the half forward line, and it's a full forward line of Cormac Smith, Decky Byrne and Kieran Byrne. There's one change to the Joe's starting 15 that was listed in the programme, with the number 20 Conor Neary coming in place of the number 9 Conal McCall, and they go with Adam Cassidy in goals. It's Rian Devlin, Micheál Staunton and Kieran Johnson in the full back line. Micheál O'Brien, Cormac McKeown and Gabriel Bell in the half back line. David Kieran's partners Conor Neary in the middle of the field. Oisin McGuinness, Craig Doherty and Pierce Grimes Murphy is the half forward line for the Joes, and it's a full forward line comprising of Conal Smith, Ben Collier and Alan Quigley. And a big occasion for the Joes, indeed, looking for their first League Division 1 title this evening. They were beaten in a final way back in 1995. Mochtas have appeared, well, this being their third final in succession. They were beaten by Martins last year as the two captains just go up for the toss with the match referee Stephen Johnson from the Glen Emmets club, and we'll try and take a check on the way in which the toss goes, because it will be significant. Certainly a strong breeze blowing from left to right over in Darver. It's almost blowing into us into this far right corner, but certainly going to be a big factor with the 2 pointers as well as the teams just go through their final preparations. A big opportunity to get silverware with less than 2 weeks to go until the start of the senior championship. St.Mochtas, I'll expect it to go well. Third or fourth favourites in the betting at least. Joe's a little bit down the pecking order, but this represents a great opportunity for them to potentially get some much needed silverware ahead of the start of the senior championship. St.Mochtas finished first in the league standings, recording 13 wins. They were beaten twice, and there was also a draw in that campaign. The Joes, in contrast, well, they finished in second, won 11 of their games, lost 5 and drew 1. And when the sides met in round 3, it was the Mochtas who prevailed by 4 points on that occasion, winning out 215 to 1 goal and 14, as the respective captains Decky Byrne from St.Mochtas and Ben Collier from, and I think the Joes have won the toss, so the Joes will play wind assisted from left to right in this first half, so a bit of a boost for them as they just go into their final huddle, and so too do the Mochtas. Just can see the number 20 Darragh Quinn going into that huddle, so he could potentially be a late addition to the starting 15 for the Mochtas this evening. But it's well set, big crowd in, and very much looking forward to this one. Mochtas, of course, won their only Cardinal O'Donnell Cup back in 2023. They beat the Martins in that final as well, who also bet them in 2021. It was their only senior adult trophy up to press. As there's a couple of changes in fact for the Mochtas. Jamie Farrell is also wearing the number 17 jersey, and he's gone into the line, as is Darragh Quinn wearing the number 20 jersey. As Joe's break away, the only change, as I said, for Joe's Conor Neary in place of Conal McCall at midfield. Conal McCall carrying an injury but should be fit to play some part in this one. And the referee, as I said, for this evening's showpiece decider is the Glen Emmets clubman Stephen Johnson, as Oisin McGuinness, their former Louth county man, goes into midfield to join Sean Flynn for the throw-in. Joe's a little bit slow in getting into position, so we have a little bit of a delay in starting here. Decky Byrne has come out to the centre of the field. Darragh Quinn has gone to centre half forward, and Ben Kieran, well, at least from the start, will line out at full forward, but we expect him to possibly come out the field, the loud senior hurler. So the scene is set, and the referee, Stephen Johnson, eventually gets us underway here in Darver as the ball is thrown in for the final of the 2025 Cardinal O'Donnell Cup final, as early possession for the Joes and their captain Ben Collier, midway between the 45 and 65 St.Mochtas side of the field, lays the ball off as far as Craig Doherty. Doherty content to hold on to possession and plays it over to the far side. Here's one of the exciting under 20 talents, Pierce Grimes Murphy, lays the ball off as the Joes look to create an early 2-point scoring opportunity as the shot comes in from Ben Collier. It's hanging in the air and it's ruled okay, and it's an early 2-pointer for the Joes. It's a great start for them, and Ben Collier with their first attack gets them on the board, and it's a 2-pointer as well to boot. They work the opportunity well, and it's a great start for them. Here come the Mochtas in attack down this left hand side, and possession for Craig Lennon, trying to cut in from the left, looks for the support. Eventually it comes a little bit delayed in the end, looking to get a shot off. Ball comes back as far as Sean Flynn comes out, as far as the number 20 Dara Quinn on the edge of the 40-metre arc. Central position for the Mochtas as Jamie Farrell breaks the line, takes on a shot left footed, that's going to the left and it's going wide. It's the first wide of the game and it goes to St. Mochtas. A little bit maybe guilty of taking on the opportunity, but again the strength of the breeze really showing its full effect here in Darver in this first half. 2-0 in favour of the Joes, an early 2-pointer from their captain Ben Collier. The difference between the sides up to now as the ball is kicked long and Decky Byrne breaks it down, but can only break it down towards Oisin McGuinness. He's been heavily involved in the early exchanges. Cormac McKeown has been fouled there, just outside his own, or outside the Mochtas 65 in fact, and McKeown has stayed down. Another man who's got underage pedigree with Louth as well, back up onto his feet, and the free to be taken by Oisin McGuinness, who's quite content to knock the ball back as far as the middle of the field, and a touch for Rian Devlin. Ball is played over to this near side and to Conor Neary, who can stride forward unopposed down this right hand side up as far as the Mochtas 45. They're just lining across that 40-metre arc as Gabriel Bell plays the ball into the centre of the field now. Possession for Cormac McKeown. McKeown has an opportunity to shoot, decides to dish it off, and they're looking for another opportunity here. And again Mochtas retreat, and that's a lovely effort, and it's sent in and sent over the bar, and that's a 3rd point of the day already for St. Joe's. This one comes via Pierce Grimes Murphy, and if you let him shoot from those types of positions, he's going to absolutely punish you every single time. And that's 3 scores unanswered for the Joes. A 2-pointer and a score now for Pierce Grimes Murphy. 3 points the difference between the sides with just under 3 minutes on the clock here in Darver. Possession for St. Mochtas, but in their half back line with Liam Lawler, decides to hand it off now to Jerry Garland, who's on his own 65-metre line. And again pressure coming from the men in white, and again Garland tight to the touchline on that far side, does well to retain possession, and now they can work it up as far as the 45-metre line. Offloaded nicely to Dara Quinn, ball is inside, and now an opportunity for the Mochtas. Can they get a shot away here? Shot coming in, plenty of latitude on it, lovely finish in the end, and that's Jerry Garland who's finished it off for St. Mochtas. Gets their maiden score of the evening here and reduces the arrears down to 2. It's 3-1 in favour of the Joes with just under 4 minutes gone in this opening period of the Cardinal O'Donnell Cup final. Good start to proceedings as well. The Joes looking long with the restart, collected well out there, and surely a tactical foul being made on Darren McMahon, so a free will be there for the men in yellow. Referee, not quite sure what Stephen Johnson is indicating. He's let them take the free kick short in the end, and ball is now with the number 12, Craig Lennon, on as far as the 40-metre arc, then puts that trademark dash of pace in. Does he have a finish with his left? Oh yes he does. Lovely effort from Craig Lennon, coming in off the left and delicately applied the finish. That's back-to-back scores now for St. Mochtas, and after a little bit of a languid start, they've recovered well. 2 scores in quick succession has them back within 1. It's 3-2 to the Joes as the restart comes from Adam Casti. He's looking to probably vary it over to this near side on this occasion. Casti does put boot to ball, gets it up as far as halfway. Ball is broken down, loose and available, but picked up well that time by Shane Lennon, and it's into the centre of the field now with Decky Byrne, wearing the number 14 jersey, but quite content to occupy the middle of the field in this first half against the breeze. Byrne carries it hard, and crosses the 45-metre line, comes back the way now as far as Jamie Farrell, who decides to offload it to Dara Quinn. Quinn head up looking for some advanced movement, takes a step inside. Dara Quinn has it still, looks to create a yard of space. It's a lovely dummy. He's put loads on that. It's dropping. It's some score, you know, from Dara Quinn. It's absolutely brilliant. Against the breeze, it seemed to hang in the air for an eternity, but Dara Quinn knew exactly what he was doing with that. And that's 3 points in succession for the Mochtas. They've recovered from a slow start and they've restored parity at 3 points apiece. The Joes struggling to retain their own kick out, and that trend set to continue as the ball spills loose in the middle of the field, and it's Sean Flynn who's picked it up for them. Now it's with the other midfielder, Darren McMahon, who helps it over to the far side, and Decky Byrne strides up as far as the Joes 45. Mochtas have found their groove now as they inevitably get Craig Lennon on the ball. Comes to this near side through. Darren McMahon ignores the decoy run being made by Shane Lennon. Still McMahon has it, decides to hand it off now to Sean Flynn. Into the centre of the field it comes once again as they look to work it from left to right. Dara Quinn slices a ball over to that far side. This is with Andrew Lennon. Again, content to go back. The Joes just happy to stand off and allow Mochtas to have possession. But this really suits the Mochtas with, what have we, just over 6 minutes gone in this opening period. Again, such a sizable breeze in this first half, and they really don't need to force the issue at this stage. But Craig Lennon knows only one way, and that's to put the head down and drive through. Has to retreat back this time, finds Dara Quinn, the man who's drawn the sides level at 3 points apiece. And once again, he feathers the ball over to the far side of the field. Andrew Lennon, who's been on plenty in the early exchanges, helps it on to Decky Byrne over on that far side. Ball back inside, and now Mochtas can try and create an incision from the right. Lovely change of boot, ball inside now towards Byrne. Decky Byrne looks to fist it over and he gets his first point, and that's 4 in a row for the Mochtas. Decky Byrne timed his run to perfection and sensibly decided to fist the ball over the bar inside 7 minutes to put Mochtas in front for the first time at 4 points to 3. Joes again looking to win their own kick out. They've really struggled over the last few minutes. Again, the order of the day is to go long, but once more the breaking ball is picked up by Sean Flynn from the Mochtas, who can come once again. This ball is played into this near pocket and it's McMahon who strides forward. He's got a run to this near side from Craig Lennon, decides to ignore him for now. The ball inside, it was risky, but it's found Cormac Smith. He's in on goal, chance for Smith, decides to fist it over again. Goal chance was on, but probably the sensible call in the end from Cormac Smith just to help the ball over. That's 5 in a row now. And again, they're slicing and dicing here. The Mochtas, Joes really at 6s and 7s, but can't get a grasp on midfield whatsoever. And with 8 minutes on the clock, it's 5 points to 3 to the Mochtas. Just a reminder that they are playing against a pretty stiff breeze in this first half, and that's a terrific take out around the middle of the field from Declan Byrne once again. Surely Adam Cassidy at this stage needs to try and find a short avenue, because the Mochtas onslaught is somewhat relentless as they come again and they're in, but too many steps taken this time by Shane Lennon. The ball does end up in the back of the net, and the referee quite rightly deciding to move the ball up 50 metres for dissent shown, and this is going to be brought into a 2-point free, one would assume. It's going to be midway between the 45 and 65. He's really having a good go at Craig Lennon, who's going to have to come over and feel the wrath of the referee Stephen Johnson from Glen Emmets. I actually initially thought that the ball was being brought forward for it being kicked away by Shane Lennon, but it is Craig who's receiving the card, and it's a yellow card for, or is it a black card? It's a black card in fact for Craig Lennon. He's been done for verbal, shall we say, to the referee. So that's a really senseless thing for such an experienced player in Craig Lennon to do. He's going to spend the next 10 minutes in the bin, and this is potentially an option for Joes to get a foothold as they wind up for another 2-point shot. This time it's drifted to the left and it's gone wide. That's the first wide of the game for the Joes. Just over 9 minutes on the clock, and it is Mochtas who lead it by 2, but a numerical advantage for the next 10 minutes for the Joes. Craig Lennon shown his marching orders, black card at least, and a significant blow for the team that were in the ascendancy prior to that. but they have once again managed to retain their own kick-out. Possession over on that far side for Dara Quinn. He's been hugely influential in the early stages. Lovely ball played over the top as Mochtas look to spring another attack. Ball is just held back, loose and available, and it's picked up by the Joes cornerback, Rian Devlin, who does well to bend his back, scoops up possession and goes back to Conor Neary, and now they can work it through the lines. Ball is in towards the centre forward, Craig Doherty. Doherty looks for a loop run, finds it too. Chance for the Joes here. Still, that's lovely close control as the number 13 Colin Smith does well to just hold on to possession. Ball played over to that far side, and Grimes Murphy down the left hand channel. An opportunity possibly for them to get a score. They haven't scored since the 3rd minute of the game. They've gone over 7 minutes without a point. Ball as far as Colin Smith once again. He's within 2-point range. Quite happy to work it into the arc this time, and eventually the shot comes in. That's a wild swing from Alan Quigley, who puts it to the right and wide. That's back-to-back wides now for the Joes, possibly a little bit over-exuberant in trying to get their shots away. And that's 2 wides now for the Joes. 5 points to 3 in favour of the Mochtas it remains. But this one is surely pitched too high. It's brilliantly kept in, it has to be said, by Shane Lennon, just to bat the ball back to his cornerback, Liam Lawler. And once again, possession there for the favourites, as Andrew English, the powerful centre half back, strides forward across the 65. They're up as far as halfway now, the men in yellow. Just have to be careful of a breach, but they manage it well to this near side, and Darren McMahon pops it down to Shane Lennon. Shane Lennon with that trademark drink of his cuts inside the attentions of Gabriel Bell, finds it off to Cormac Smith. Lovely touch inside by Cormac Smith, but he's taken the ball into the challenge, and he's been stripped of possession in no uncertain terms by Oisin McGuinness, and now it's there for the Joes and Micheál O'Brien to come away. Helps it on as far as Craig Doherty, who's got open road in front of him. Craig Doherty's up as far as the 45, looks for a cute ball inside, but Decky Byrne straight down the throat of the Mochtas full forward, who would drop back into the pocket. And again, Joe's a little bit guilty of being sloppy in possession really, and a decent opportunity for themselves, but haven't scored in some 9 minutes. Mochtas still leading it by 2, 5 points to 3 here in Darver. A reminder that Craig Lennon is in the sin bin for the next 6 or 7 minutes, I suppose, and Joe's yet to make any real inroads into that lead as of yet. Here's the number 21 for St.Mochtas, Daniel Craven. Inside it goes now as far as Dara Quinn. Quinn steps inside the 40-metre arc, but once again Joes do well this time to strip the ball off Dara Quinn, and now they can try and force a counter-attack. They've got their full forward and captain Ben Collier crossing the halfway line. Still he continues to carry it up as far as the opposition 65. Helped inside, and an opportunity here. Ball is chipped in, that's well collected inside. Can they get a score away? Lovely move and a fine finish at the end of it. That's much better from them, and Conal Smith has got his first point of the game and reduced the game and the gap down to 1. 5 points to 4 now in favour of the Mochtas, managed again by Stephen Poacher, second year in the job for him. Joe's first point in some 10 minutes. 13 minutes are gone here in Darver, and it's Mochtas by a solitary point. 5 points to 4, and they've won their own kick out once again. That's been a trademark of this game so far. They've done well on their own kick out, but they've also done well on the Joe's restarts as well. That's given them a foothold out around midfield, and Jamie Farrell with those bright pinky boots plays it into the centre of the field now, and it's with the number 20 Derek Quinn. Shane Lennon, who is popping up left, right and centre at this moment in time, has possession between the 45 and 65, Joe's half of the field, and they're almost at walking pace now. Darren McMahon sensibly deciding to slow this down. It's not pretty to watch, but it's what they need to do until they can get Craig Lennon back and restore full complement. But they do give it to Shane Lennon, who puts a bit of juice into the move. Attacking from the right this time. Lennon has it, looks to step inside, does so in easy fashion really. Sean Flynn is over there. Again, Joe's get numbers back and get numbers around the ball, and they've forced the turnover again, and credit to them for that. Defensively, they've certainly made moves in the last few minutes, but that's an absolutely senseless push really in the back from Rian Devlin when they were in cruise control, and they've just gifted Mochtas a free on the 20-metre line. Declan Byrne, the man who's been upscuttled, and this will be a free in to the Mochtas. And one would assume a fairly easy opportunity for Decky Byrne, albeit slightly to the right of the posts, to re-establish the 2-point buffer. Joe's in possession but guilty of some ill discipline, and Decky Byrne punishes them to the hilt. His second point, first to come from a place ball, and it's now 6 points to 4 to the Mochtas with 15 minutes on the clock. Just a reminder that Joes will have the breeze in this first half, but struggling to make a deuce as of now. This time they opt to go short and they retain possession through the number 14 Ben Collier, who's come way back into his own full back line really to just get involved and get hands on ball. He's got options on this near side, the cornerback Kieran Johnson looking for it, but instead Collier decides to shift it left and to Rian Devlin. Mochtas just retreating back the way. Joes have it on their own 45-metre line, handed off that time by Micheál O'Brien, and it comes down the left this time. The fullback Micheál Staunton has it now. Again, Mochtas quite eager to press, but possession retained, albeit the progress is somewhat slow. They are up as far as halfway now, the Joes, through O'Brien. Just struggling to really penetrate at this stage, and they trail by 2 with 16 minutes on the clock. Just one 2-pointer to their name that arrived inside the first minute of the game through Ben Collier. They're looking to try and create another potential move as this one goes long, and the ball again squirts loose, and it's picked up by Daniel Craven back there, doing well for the Mochtas again. Looking to force the pass really inside, probably wasn't on. Just lack of patience really at this stage from the Joes, the men who are managed by Wayne McKeever. He's back for his second stint in charge as Mochtas this time have coughed up possession in a dangerous position. The ball is held back that time, but it's a poor lazy ball back, you would say, that time from Craig Doherty, and he's given up the opportunity, and Mochtas do have the ball back. But yeah, Wayne McKeever back for a second spell. He did manage the Dreadnoughts last season. He of course guided the Joes to intermediate success back in 2016. Decky Byrne for the Mochtas, one of the former county men on show here this evening. To this near side it comes, and Darren McMahon again, he's very content just to almost do it at walking pace and just slow the whole thing down. Mochtas down to 14 for the next couple of moments until Craig Lennon is reintroduced. Byrne from the right this time, helps it in. Oh, that's a poor ball really back, and Joseph one possession back, and it was good defending there now, and they could try and break a pace when Mochtas are somewhat out of position now. Can they transition quicker than they have been doing? To this near side it comes, and it's David Kearns who helps it on, invites his wing back Gabriel Bell forward. Bell has a looped run, and the opportunity was there for a brief moment from Conal Smith, but it does come central once again to Pierce Grimes Murphy. Neary now, over to the far side it goes, and Micheál O'Brien. Mochtas again just lining across that 40-metre arc. Reminder that they lead by 2, 6 points to 4. It's with the centre half back Cormac McKeown. Is he tempted to take on a shot for himself? He's not, so he waits for support to come, gets it in the form of Alan Quigley, the resident free taker for the Joes men. Can he get within range? Still outside the 45-metre line at this stage. Mochtas just quite happy to filter bodies across to that far side. Once again the play comes central, and it's with Smith this time. Conal Smith stalked by Decky Byrne. 18.5 minutes are gone in this first half. The Mochtas still leading it by 2. Joe's looking to create potentially a scoring opportunity for themselves. Nice ball, reverse ball inside to Alan Quigley, but brilliantly stripped back for the Mochtas, and they can try and counter-attack now with Liam Lawler coming out of his own defence. Past the 45-metre line, goes back to Decky Byrne. And that's been a feature of this first half. Joes have had the ball in decent positions but struggled to make the opportunities count, and Mochtas far more assured in possession, and they're up inside the opposition 45 once again as they elect to go back this time to Shane Lennon, helped across into the centre of the field now to Craig Lennon, who's back on, having served his 10 minutes in bin. So Mochtas back to their full complement of 15 players and still have a 2-point advantage, leading it by 6 points to 4 at this stage. The Mochtas will compete with St. Pat's and the Dreadnoughts in this year's Senior Championship, set to start in a couple of weeks' time as they look to add to their lead here. And Lennon has it, plays the ball over the top. That's a brilliant collection. Is there a finish? Lovely check back, but the shot in the end is poor and it drops short via Dara Quinn and into the grateful grasp of Cassidy. Joe's looking to get a counter-attack moving, and it's Staunton, their fullback, who crosses halfway. Almost took too much out of that one, hammers it long. Oh well, it's collected inside. Here could be a goal chance, and it's an opportunity, but it's played over the bar in the end. Alan Quigley gets the score. He wanted the goal, but in the end he has to be satisfied for a point. Tried to improvise on that and soccer style cushion it in, but he's put too much on it. Does manage to get his first point of the day and reduces the arrears down to 1 again. That was a presentable goal opportunity. It was a lovely ball played in by Staunton. Just the finish lacking in the end. They do get a point from it, and it's 6 points to 5 now to the Mochtas with just under 9 minutes to go in this first half. Pierce Grimes-Murphy has had to retire though due to injury, and that is a blow. We can only assume an injury at this stage, so an early change for the Joes. Referee in dialogue with some of the midfielders as the ball goes long, and Decky Byrne once again showcases his aerial prowess by getting up to claim the ball and hand it off to Shane Lennon down this left hand side. Back into the centre it comes to Craig Lennon. Slowly but surely moves his way up as far as the 45-metre line. Decky Byrne is in close proximity to him. He takes possession off him, and again Mochtas just really calculated, really staccato in their build-up, really almost ran into trouble there, but possession retained in the form of Darren McMahon. They've got runners to this near side, one of whom is Shane Lennon, and Shane Lennon has just broken the cover. Ball inside now and an opportunity for Cormac Smith. He goes with the fist again, it's back and it's helped over the bar. It's his second fisted point. He was trying to force a goal initially, but quite happy to loft the ball over the bar. It's his second of the game. Both fisted efforts. Just a confirmation of that substitution. Jack Mulligan, wearing the number 18 jersey, is the man to come on for the Joes in place of the injury-stricken Pierce Grimes-Murphy, who's had to be withdrawn. 2 points now the margin. That's a brilliant take and a physical clash in the middle of the field, but the big powerful Cormac McKeown doing well and lays it off now to Oisin McGuinness. McGuinness winding up for 2. It drops short and it's collected by Darragh O'Shea almost just underneath his own crossbar. It was a 2-point shot, but just lacked a little bit of power in the end, and Mochtas can bring it away to safety, leading it by 7 points to 5 at this stage, with 22.5 minutes gone in this opening period of the final of the Cardinal O'Donnell Cup for 2025. Mochtas certainly the better side at this stage and will play wind assisted in the second half, but they're eager to add to their lead at this stage, with Shane Lennon looks for a reverse ball, finds it in the form of Jimmy Farrell, who cushions a delicate ball over to that far side to the centre half forward. Jerry Garland works its way out to this side now. Sean Flynn hands it off to Gus Kieran, who wearing the number 3 jersey, but certainly not playing as an orthodox fullback this evening. Dara Quinn invites his midfielder Darren McMahon forward, and McMahon again comes forward unopposed, crosses the 45-metre line over on that far side, gives it to Declan Byrne. Pass inside is nice, it's collected by Shane Lennon, and again Shane Lennon turns on the afterburners. Lovely combination play. Shot comes in the end. I think it's Jerry Garland who's got a score as well, and it's really good movement from the Mochtas. Garland gets his second point and St. Mochtas 8th in all. Scores just coming that bit easier to the men in yellow at this stage. They are working the opportunities and getting the shooters on the ball. What can the Joes find in response? They're on the attack down the left hand side, trailing it by 3 at this stage, with Craig Doherty looking to make inroads into this lead. An opportunity here, fed across to this near side to the substitute. First touch for Mulligan since his introduction. It's with Quigley just outside the 45-metre line, but again Mochtas have 2 or 3 players off in pursuit as the ball is helped over to Conor Neary now. He just crosses the 45-metre line. Risky ball inside, and it was Mulligan who's lost possession, and Decky Burns bent his back. I thought he was fouled. Well, the referee's done Decky Burns for touching the ball on the ground. I think he can count himself a little bit unfortunate on that occasion, because it did look as though he was fouled as he was bending his back. But the free is taken quickly, and Joe's not going for a 2-point opportunity, and the ball is coughed up by Gabriel Bell inside there, and Mochtas have possession back again. Really, that should have been a 2-point free for the Joes, but a little bit of indecision really, as the Mochtas bring it away down this near side. Decky Byrne, his side leading by 3 points at this stage, 8 points to 5, with just under 5 minutes of normal time left to play in this opening half. They're in control, and they're really assured of themselves in possession as they find the number 21, Daniel Craven, who comes forward, ignores Decky Byrne for now, hands it off instead to Kieran inside, just inside the 40-metre arc, takes a challenge, dips the shoulder, hands it off then to Farrell. To the centre it comes. Oh, the ball towards Goss. Kieran is poor, and his opposing number almost stole in, but credit. Chance goal over that far side, and it's helped into the back of the net by Cormac Smith. He gets the goal. Shane Lennon was prominent in the build-up as well, and the ball just spilled loose, and it was Cormac Smith who was the beneficiary in helping the ball into the back of the net. 1-2 now for him, all from open play, and that you feel is a huge body blow in the run into half-time. 26 minutes are gone, and Cormac Smith has got the goal for St. Mochtas, and they lead by 6 all of a sudden. They're in control, and they're on the attack once again. Goss Kiernan faced 1v1, but McGuinness quite happy to come back to his centre half forward, Garland. They've got loads of numbers outside, one of whom is Liam Lawler, and now it's over to Sean Flynn, who crosses the 45-metre line. All Mochtas at this stage, and Shane Lennon, opportunity coming in. We're right behind that one, and that's a great effort indeed from Sean Flynn, measured to perfection, left-footed from this left-hand side, and now it's 1-3 unanswered for the team in the ascendancy. Flynn gets his first of this game, and the one-way traffic is continuing. And again, goalkeeper, to his credit, Cassidy, has to go short and does get a short one away, but they've been absolutely battered on their own restarts really in this first half, and Mochtas just far superior really in the tackle, and far more assured in possession as well. This, of course, their third successive league final appearance. Last year they were beaten by Martins, having tasted the success in 2023. They look to be on their way even at this stage, as Jamie Farrell collects the ball inside, goes back, and a 2-point swing. This will be some score. It's an absolute monster of a score from Jerry Garland, who doubles up. He's had 2 points coming into it. He's got 4 points now, first 2-pointer for the Mochtas. And Garland from way out the field over on that far side against the breeze, but with the outside of the left boot, I should say, slicing it over the bar. 1-11-5 now, and here they come once again with Shane Lennon playing the ball inside. They've got another opportunity. Farrell will contend to take his point and lofts the ball over, no problem whatsoever for Jamie Farrell. This is absolute ruthless from the Mochtas. Stephen Poacher's men going through the gears and siving through the opposition at will. 1-12-5 now. They've scored a goal and 6 unanswered, and Joe's, well, they've been really left in the Mochtas' wake at this stage. Cassidy tries to go long once again, and again the breaking ball is picked up by the men in yellow. And the man of the moment, Jerry Garland, doing well. Just at 6s and 7s, players loose and available, one of whom is the goal scorer, Cormac Smith, down this left-hand channel. Waits for support to arrive, content to go back, still has a Cormac Smith, touching the ball on his toe, goes back to Craig Lennon, right in front of us here, midway between the Joe's 45 and 65, centres the play. Lovely ball in field as well, it goes to Darren McMahon. Farrell delicately ushers one out with the outside of the right boot. Smith thought about taking on a 2-point shot, then thought better of it inside the last minute of the first half at this stage, and Mochtas coasting, you would say. 1-12-5 points their lead, and they will play with the elements as well in this second half, but at this stage they're comfortable, and they're just happy to wind down the clock here and get into half-time. They can add another point or two, happy days, but if they don't, they're not going to relinquish possession of the football with Dara Quinn. Joe's chasing shadows at this moment in time. Quinn still has it midway between the 45 and 65, helps it to this near side. It's a risky ball and it's a poor ball in the end. Beats Cormac Smith, and it'll be a line ball to the Joes. Do they have enough time to force a late score before half time? They haven't scored since the 21st minute of the contest. That's 9 minutes ago now. We are into stoppage time at the end of this first half as Oisin McGuinness looks to make inroads from the right. McGuinness offloads it. Chance here for Mulligan. Ball is helped out again to Collier. Can they get a two-pointer before the break maybe? Cormac McKeown. Again, just a little bit slow in their execution, and that enables Mochtas to just line their way across the 40-metre arc. Just confirmation that there'll be a minimum of 1 minute to be added as an incision made from the right from Alan Quigley. Infield it goes. Surely this is an opportunity for Collier to score. Oh, he's put it to the left. Yeah, he's put it to the left and he's put it wide. That a third wide of the game for the Joes, and likely will be the last act of the first half here in Darver. The minute is almost up, and Mochtas have really made their move in the last 7 or 8 minutes of this first half, scoring 1 goal and 6 unanswered. And they're coasting at 112-5 as the kick out comes from Darragh O'Shea, and the referee Stephen Johnson from Glen Emmets blows the half-time whistle. This has been an excellent first half of football from the Mochtas against the Elements. Joe's really at 6s and 7s and have an absolute mountain to climb in this second half against the Breeze. They're going to need goals, and they're going to need a minor miracle at this stage to get themselves back within reach. Only 4 points when the sides met in round 3 over in Cluskey Park, but at this stage Mochtas look class above at half-time here in Darver in the final of the Cardinal O'Donnell Cup final. St. Mochtas leads St. Joe's by 112-5 points. We'll have second half coverage shortly. Alright folks, you are welcome back to Darver as the teams are out and ready to rock for the start of the second half. The Joe's management team just to our left, taking their time, possibly delaying the inevitable, some might say, at this stage as they make their way over to the sideline. Ben McKeown is on for the Joes at half time, unsurprising to see, Louth under 20 man. comes on to join Cormac for the second half. They have a uphill task, to say the very least, in front of them, trailing by a goal and 12 to 5 points at half time. St.Mochtas will play wind assisted second half. Maybe the wind isn't just as strong as it was earlier on, but still a factor nonetheless, as Stephen Johnson gets us underway for this second half. The Joes playing from right to left as we look at it from the bank over on this near side, and they're on the attack. An early touch for the aforementioned Ben McKeown as he looks to try and get Joes moving in a positive manner. He plays the ball over to the far side of the field, and it's with Gabriel Bell, the wing back. To this near side it comes. Connell Smith inside with the hand pass. An opportunity here to get a first score. McGuinness has done well and he's popped it over. It's a good start to the second half for the Joes. They need loads more of that. It's their first score since the 21st minute. And Oisin McGuinness gets them off and running in this second half with a point. 112 to 6 now. The Mochtas lead. Joes are in the group of death for the championship. They will take on the Martins and indeed Newtown Blues in the senior championship in a couple of weeks' time. And they've won a free out round the middle of the field. Declan Byrne has dropped the ball on the ground and he hasn't handed it back, so it's going to be brought forward for a 50-metre free. Referee Stephen Johnson is moving well, and they do have the opportunity of taking this outside the arc. Let's see what they do here. They are against the breeze. Free would have been from the traditional D as we would have known it. So they are going to take it outside, and this will be an opportunity for Alan Quigley to get them off and running in this second half with a. They've already got one through Oisin McGuinness. This would be a 2-point free from the top of the 40-metre arc, and it would signal their intent nicely. What can he do? He's going to take it left-footed from the ground. Central position. Everything really needs to go over in this second half for the Joes if they're to try and give themselves a chance. He's struck it well, he's hit across it, and he's absolutely nailed it. It's a brilliant free from Quigley. He's their main marksman, and he's got his third of the day. It's his first to come from a placed ball, and crucially, it's a 2-point free. It's their second 2-pointer of the day. And you know, all of a sudden, I won't say they're back within reach, but you know, two quick fire sets of scores and they're back 112 to 8 points, and that ball is kicked away by Declan Byrne after taking a great mark out around the middle of the field. And Joe's looking to keep up this forward momentum as they attack from the left this time. They've got their midfielder who didn't actually start, Conal McCall. He's another player that's come on at half time for them, wearing the number 9 jersey, but he didn't start, so he's on for the second half, and they've definitely made the better of the starts. Here's Bell attacking from the right. He'll want to cut in on that left foot if he can. Takes a few steps, looks to retain possession, tries to find a colleague, does well in the end. Mochtas again patient in their defending. This time they look for a ball inside. It's a terrific pick out, lovely turn as well. Chance of a goal, blocked down brilliantly from Jerry Garland to deny Colin Smith the opportunity. That was a lovely turn on the sixpence, and again the shot was ferocious, but it was a brilliant block from the retrieving Garland. And look at this for place down the other end as Shane Lennon comes away, looks to get Mochtas' first point of the second half. Wild swing of it in the end, and that's only their second wide. First of the second half for the Mochtas, 112 to 8. It remains in their favour, but well, a good fast start to this second half, and the Joes have finally shown some signs of life, and they've got another short kick out away. Killian Staunton, the third of the changes that was made at the break, he's on and he collects a short kick out. They work it down the right hand channel. This time ball just slightly behind Kieran's, but does well to hang on to it. Joe's coming forward now towards the Mochtas 45-metre line, helped infield now, and an opportunity for themselves. Helped across to this near side. Alan Quigley has it, takes evasive action to cut back on himself. He's been stalked all the while by Liam Lawler. McGuinness this time dips the shoulder and tries to continue onwards. Still has it, McGuinness. Lovely run. Does he have a finished ball? Played across. Just ran out of road in the end and just hands it easily to Garland in the end. He's dropped back and he's been quietly effective in the early stages of this second half. And he makes hard yards down that left-hand channel. Ball played up the line to Cormac Smith, the man who got the goal, and there's been a line infringement, I think, here. Or in fact, it's just going to be a line ball. So Line ball to the Joes. Referee just going in to check with his linesman over on the far side that is the call, and it wasn't a 3-up breach. We did come to the conclusion that Craig Lennon wasn't the shortest sin bin ever. He did in fact get a yellow card, and he was penalised for not wearing a gum shield, so he had to go off and get a gum shield before returning on to the field. So it wasn't in fact a black card. So Mochtas, well, they were temporarily reduced to 14 men, but nothing for a sin bin. That's given away that time by Cormac McKeown. They expect better from a man of his calibre, and Mochtas can break away with the aforementioned Craig Lennon, this time at a pedestrian pace, cuts the ball back as far as Darren McMahon. Mochtas are quite happy to just hang on to the ball and enjoy some possession. They've been under the cosh somewhat in the early stages of this second half. 5.5 minutes of it are gone. They still lead by a goal and 12 to 8 points in the final of the Cardinal O'Donnell Cup final of 2025. Mochtas have won it once. Joes have never won it, beaten in the final in 1995. Big crowd in to see this one. Crowd struggling to get into it at this stage due to the one-sided nature of it as Sean Flynn comes forward. Mochtas still looking for their first score of the second half. They have it with Shane Lennon. He strides forward, hands it off then to Dara Quinn. It comes to this near side, and Declan Byrne just invites the run down the right-hand channel. Oh, lovely interception almost by Ben McKeown, but it's retrieved well. Byrne has a chance of a goal. Decky Byrne's going to pop it over in the end. Goal was gaping, but Declan Byrne quite happy to knock over another one. It's his third point of the evening, second to come from play, and it is their first point of the second half. Just keeps that scoreboard ticking from a Mochtas perspective. 37 minutes are gone. It's 113 now to 8 points in favour of the men in yellow. Restart to come for the Joes goalkeeper Adam Casti, but there's just going to be a stoppage due to an injury. Joes man down, back sitting up, and he's going to receive a little bit of treatment before we can get back underway. The referee just goes to check on his well-being, but he's quite happy to continue. Kieran Johnston, although he is being assessed at the moment. Referee is given the go-ahead for Adam Casti to take the kick out and get us moving again. He's going to have to speed it up or he's going to get done here, but he unusually strikes the ball down. It's helped all brilliantly. Lovely bit of play by Killian Staunton that time to just flick the ball into the path of Conal McCall. And McCall has it, albeit inside his own 45-metre line. Over to the far side of the field it goes. Again, Mochtas just filter across, brilliantly organised as expected with a man like Stephen Poacher overseeing the entire project. They're going to be a big player in this year's championship, one would assume. Joes, they'll have their own aspirations, but in that group of death it's going to be most difficult for them as they come forward up as far as the 45. Lovely pirouette turn this time by McGuinness, and he's been fouled right on the edge of that 40-metre arc, and again, oh, that won't please Stephen Poacher because it gives Alan Quigley another opportunity from an almost identical position to the one in which he's already got a two-pointer from in this second half to strike another one and possibly get themselves that little bit closer. In the end, he kicks the ball away. He looks for a new ball. So let's see what he can produce from this similar one. The last one, he struck brilliantly, just kind of curled it in from right to left, almost kicked across the ball. Let's see what he can produce this time around. Places it on the deck, takes every precaution with it. As I said already, everything really needs to go from the Joes in this second half. Can Quigley land his second two-pointer of the half to bring them back within 6? Again, he strikes it well. This one's tailing though to the left, and it's tailing to the left and wide. It's a fourth wide for the Joes, first of the second half, and possibly just trying to be a little bit too precise with that one, and a let off for the Mochtas, who maintain their 8-point buffer at this point with just under 9.5 minutes gone in this second half. The restart to come from Dara O'Shea, who helps it long. It's collected well by Shane Lennon. He's been on so much ball out around the centre of the field today. Ball is played back far as Darren McMahon and worked up the way as far as the middle of the field. Andy Lennon gives it off to the onrushing Jamie Farrell. They're in here, chance for Dara Quinn. Quinn blasted into the net. Lovely finish from Dara Quinn, and that should be game, set and match now to the St.Mochtas men. A lovely sweeping move, but all a little bit easy from a Joe's perspective. In the end, Dara Quinn finished it with a flourish, and it's a second goal of the day for them. 10 minutes are gone in this second half. It's 2-12 or 2-13 now, I beg your pardon, to 8 points, and you would think that should be the decisive blow for the Mochtas at this stage. Joes will continue to plug on. Ball is played over to that far side, but a little bit too much weight on the pass, and well, referee, I think the Mochtas faithful down to our right hand side, a little bit perplexed by the decision. I think the referee, Stephen Johnson, was playing an advantage and there was no advantage accruing, so the free will be brought back, and it will be another 2-point free, this time favouring the left foot of Quigley. It's just slightly to the right of the 40-metre arc, about 42, maybe 43 metres out, but he's got a bit of an angle to work with here. What can he produce this time around, Quigley? Left and wide last time out. Can he compensate for that one with this effort? Breeze is blowing almost in towards us here on this near side of pitch one in Darver. Quigley, he's nailed it. He's absolutely nailed it. Brilliant. Measured to perfection. His second 2-pointer of the half. And they'll keep plugging away, the Joes. There's a change for the Mochtas with the number 19, Liam O'Flaherty, coming on in place of the man who scored their first goal, Cormac Smith. 2-13 to 10 points. 9 points the margin between the sides as Mochtas come away down this near side with Andy Lennon doing well. He's bottled up though, Lennon, but he's been fouled as he was coming away, so it'll be a free to the Mochtas midway between the Joes 45 and 65. 42 minutes are gone here in Darver. 2-13 plays 10 points. 9 the margin between the sides as Mochtas come again over on that far side as Jamie Farrell, the man who's got their second goal, helps it across to Shane Lennon, who beavers forward from the left. Still has it, Lennon. Look at him go. Offloads it inside. Here's another chance. It's blasted over in the end. They were trying to carve out another goal scoring opportunity for themselves, but in the end quite happy to blast the ball over the bar, and a point in the end for Ben Goss-Kieran, his first of the day, to make it 2-14 to 10 points in the 43rd minute of the contest here. Ball breaks the way. That's a heavy collision, and while Cormac McKeown, the Louth under 20 man, has gone down in quite a bit of distress and discomfort middle way between his own 45 and 65. Joes will have possession. He's potentially just winded, but in quite a bit of bother down on the ground, and will require some treatment. It's just a fairly innocuous one. The ball was kicked out and he went up bravely and just was caught on the landing, and he's just getting the treatment that he needs at this moment in time. 43 minutes are gone. A reminder that Mochtas lead it by 10 points, double scores, 2-14 to St. Joe's, 10 points. A brief rally at the start of the second half from the Joes against the wind. 2-point frees for Alan Quigley, but you feel that second goal from Dara Quinn likely to be the decisive score really to get Mochtas over the line at this stage as we approach the end of the third quarter here in Darver. Good to see Cormac McKeown back sitting up, and in fact he's got back to his feet, just gingerly regaining his composure and regaining his bearings. It will be a restart for the Joes to be taken by Ben McKeown. Not the best of balls from Ben McKeown. It was excellently collected down on the ground though by Colin Smith, who helps it on to David Kearns. Finds its way through to the centre half forward Craig Doherty. Over to the far side it goes now. An opportunity for Bell. What can they produce here? Can they get another score? Shot coming in. It's short, and it's well claimed by Darrow O'Shea just underneath his crossbar for the Mochtas, who look to spring a counter-attack down the side. Oh, well, that's an agricultural challenge, shall we say. A sliding challenge. Wouldn't be amiss in the Aviva Stadium today between AC Milan and Leeds United. It was Killian Staunton who was the man coming in. It's a free, and I think the referee will take the sensible approach to this one. and just give the free. Possibly there'll be a card at the end of it too, maybe just a tick in at the end. The ball was there to be won, but potentially just the nature of the challenge really, and the forceful nature of it is what has drawn the attention of the referee and indeed the supporters. I think it'll just be a yellow by Stephen Johnson, and that's exactly what it is to Killian Staunton, who's been in the thick of the action since his introduction at half-time. 1 of 3 half-time changes for the Joes. Has made a bit of a difference, but they've ultimately left themselves far too much to do, courtesy of a very lacklustre first half performance as we enter the 4th and final quarter of the contest. Mochtas in cruise control, leading it by 2:14 to 10 points as Kieran takes a couple of grasps to claim possession down this right hand side, approaching the opposition 45. Lovely ball inside, collected well as well by Craig Lennon, decides to dish it off. Shot coming in, it could be on its way, it is on its way too. Jerry Garland adds another one. I make it 5 for him. He's had a really prosperous evening here in Darver. And Garland finds the range once more to make it 2:15 to 10 points with 46 minutes gone. As Joes again look long, but once more Mochtas really are dominant on the opposition restarts as Byrne plays the ball down the channel to Garland. Inside it goes to Dara Quinn, and they're in again here, and it's Farrell who checks inside. Farrell blasted into the net. It's a fine goal, it's their 3rd goal, and he adds to Dara Quinn's major and indeed the first half goal from Cormac Smith. Brilliant finish from Jamie Farrell in the end, but all a little bit too easy from a St. Mochtas, or from a Joe's point of persuasion, you would have to say. It's a 3rd goal for the Mochtas, finished brilliantly to the roof of the net by Farrell. 3:15 to 10 points now, and it's turning into a bit of a turkey shoot at this stage, you would say, with 47 minutes on the clock. Joes really no match for their far superior opponents this evening. Mochtas have been really impressive, it has to be said. And free out around the centre of the field. Joes have got the decision. Mochtas supporters a little bit perplexed by that, but Joes continue on regardless with Killian Staunton. Cormac Smith makes an offer. It's with McGuinness, who was thinking about winding up for a 2-point shot, decides to work it infield instead, finds its way through to McKeown once again. McGuinness hands it off, and it's all difficult, it's all hard work for the Joes, and once again they've been dispossessed of possession. The ball is launched long for Dara Quinn, and once again there's numbers over. There's 1-on-1 inside, and they've got the diminutive forwards, one of whom is the goal scorer Farrell. He invites a ball over to the far side. Chance here for Darren McMahon. It's short though in the end, and well collected by the Joes netminder Adam Casti. Referee said too many steps were taken by the Joes on that occasion, coming out of defence with the ball, and Mochtas will have the free in. And a chance for them to add to their ever growing tally. Liam O'Flaherty makes no mistake, left footed, boots the ball over the bar, makes it 3:16 to 10 points. They have been rampant, but for a brief act of defiance at the beginning of the second half from the Joes, this has been as comprehensive a performance as you're ever likely to see from Mochtas, but they're not content with that. They're on the charge once again, looking for another goal. Here's Garland, brilliant block down, still there for the Miz. The rebound going to be put in, it's not, and it was a brilliant save from Adam Casti. He's been under the pump in this game, but he did extremely well to pull off the save there to just keep it somewhat respectable at this stage. But even at this stage, there's 15 points between the sides, 3:16 to 10 to the Mochtas. Here come the Joes down the right through. Craig Doherty cuts in from the far side. Can they try and work a goal opportunity? It's Cormac McKeown looking to tag on a point. He's done that, he's stung the palms of Dara O'Shea, helping the ball over the bar. It's a point for Cormac McKeown. Joe's 11th. Even at this stage, only a consolation score really. Of course, I suppose they're going to try and build towards the championship and not let a defeat like this hinder their ambitions really at this stage, but Mochtas looking long from the restart. Ball tempted to be picked up by Dylan Farrell, who's come on in place of Decky Byrne. That the latest change for St. Mochtas. Dylan Farrell on wearing the number 22 jersey. Ben Collier works his way across the halfway line, strides up towards the 45, still continues to carry it. Collier decides to lay it off. Ball inside, chance here for Conal McCall, takes on a shot from out the field. It's curling in, but not curling just enough. It's a 5th wide for the Joes, 2nd of the second half. And another change coming for St. Mochtas' own Lennon, coming on to replace Liam Lawler. Rory McLaughlin for Oisin McGuinness on the Joes side of things. Oisin McGuinness gingerly makes his way off the field. Game over at this stage, so chance to rotate, get game time into some of the fringe players. And there's going to be another change, in fact, for the Joes. The number 11, Craig Doherty, being withdrawn, and Rory McLaughlin coming on wearing the number 21 jersey. So fresh legs aplenty on both sides of things at this stage, with just under 9 minutes of the 60 to play. 316 to 11 points to the Mochtas, and that's a brilliant fetch out around the middle of the field from the substitute Dylan Farrell. Pushes possession over to that far side as Gus Kieran comes forward, returns it to Farrell, who continues his run back to Kieran. Lovely change of direction from Kieran. Can he work a scoring opportunity? He can't. The bounce was a little bit untidy, and that allowed the Joes to get back and win possession back for themselves as they carry the ball out of the defence. But again, everything just seems to be that little bit more difficult for them. They do successfully manage to navigate their way through the defence though, and they find Micheál Staunton, who continues his run forward on as far as the 45-metre line, looks for the punt pass inside. It might just work, you know, he's put a lot of juice on it, but Ben Collier does manage to retrieve the situation, albeit tight to the touchline over on that far side for the men in white. Ball is played back into the centre, and Bell has it now. He's got runners left and right, continues himself, offloads it nicely. Here's McCall, and right on the edge of the arc, shot coming in. It's a wild shot from Alan Quigley, and that really just sums it up from a Joe's perspective. 6 wides for them now, 3 in each half. And Mochtas heading towards a second Cardinal O'Donnell Cup in their 3rd consecutive final appearance. It's been a really prosperous couple of years for them in league terms. The question will be, can they make an impression come the start of the senior championship in a couple of weeks' time? Certainly on the evidence of this performance, you would give them every chance to do just that. But stiffer tests no doubt lie in wait as Joes come through. McGuinness over to the far side, puts a little bit too much on it. Jack Mulligan retrieves for the men in white. Mulligan to Conal Smith. Infield he goes towards Quigley. Quigley with the ball over the top. Can they work a scoring opportunity for themselves? They can't. Mochtas, to their credit, so resolute in their defensive efforts, even now when the game is in the bag, still applying the maximum of pressure. But a shot coming in from that far side from the substitute, and it's gone between the posts. It's a good score from Jack Mulligan, left-footed. It's back-to-back scores for the Joes. Mochtas will make a double change. Philip Englishby comes on for Jamie Farrell, and also coming on is Conor Garland on in place of Ben Goss-Kieran. 216 to 12 points. Stephen Poacher uses the opportunity really to empty his bench at this stage and get game time into some of the bit part players who will all be no doubt required come the championship. 5.5 minutes to go here in Darver. The die long since cast, as Mochtas courtesy of those 3 goals, 1 in the first half, 2 in the second, through Jamie Farrell, Dara Quinn, and the goal in the first half coming from Cormac Smith. Big scores and rubber stamping this victory. Is there more late consolation for the Joes? Ben Collier has curled that in brilliantly. It's a terrific score. Curled it in from right to left. It's 3 in a row now for the Joes. Still plugging on to their credit. Ben Collier has showed well, the captain, throughout. 55 minutes are gone. 3-16 to 13 now. 12 points the margin as a number of the spectators make their way out towards the exits. Big crowd here for this decider. Just never really lived up to the billing, but that's all credit to the Mochtas, who are still hungry for more as they look for space inside. Philip Englishby, having just come on, puts it to the left and puts it wide. That's only Mochtas' third wide, second of the second half. It's been a real scoring clinic from them, really. 3-16, 3 wides and 2 shots short. And imagine even a perfectionist like Stephen Poacher would be pretty happy with that sort of return. But no doubt we'll find areas that his side can improve on. But this has been really, really good. Here's Craig Lennon. Mochtas quite happy to just slow it down. Everybody wants a touch at this stage. Sean Flynn. Central it comes, and Jerry Garland. Back into the path of Dara Quinn. Darren McMahon now. Over it goes to Dylan Farrell towards that left-hand channel where the majority of the Mochtas bench are located. Everybody just wants a touch at this stage as McMahon has it, belts it over to that far side and invites the run of Daniel Craven. Joe's at this stage a beaten docket and just hoping for the final whistle, which will arrive shortly, just over 3 minutes of the 60 left to play. Craig Lennon finds a little pocket of space to get a pass away, gives it off to Darren McMahon. McMahon ignores the run of Shane Lennon, punts it over to that far side. Again, maximising the space, looking to create scoring opportunities for themselves. Here's Conor Garland, returns the pass inside. There's an opportunity here, and it's finished off in the end. Fisted point from Jerry Garland, who helps it over. He's been excellent today, Jerry Garland, and adds another one to his tally. 3-17, plays 13 points now. The Joes go short from the restart and find Rory McLaughlin. Into the centre comes David Kearns. McLaughlin again, loose ball, and intercepted over on that far side by Conor Garland, who does well, plays it in. Here's Shane Lennon looking for another goal, and it's gone through the body of Adam Cassidy. It's a 4th goal. This time Shane Lennon has got it. 4-17 to 13 points. It was Craig who's got it. Beg your pardon. They do look quite alike, but Craig Lennon is the man who's got the goal. And his performance certainly meriting that. 4-17 now to 13 points. Despite the best attempts of Adam Cassidy, who got down, guessed the right way, couldn't prevent the shot from Craig Lennon. 4 different goal scorers for St. Mochtas as Joes hand away possession once again to the men in yellow, who are absolutely rampant but still have the foot on the accelerator, looking for more as Daniel Craven comes away, popped into the centre of the field and collected by Sean Flynn, who's given a barnstorming display in that middle third. All action, all energy. Now with Liam O'Flaherty, reverts back and finds his way to the centre, and Dara Quinn. Philip Englishby over to this near side as they attack down the right through Andy Lennon. Shot coming in outside the 40-metre arc. Look, to dangle it over was Dara Quinn. Can't manage to do so. He's put it to the right and wide. It's a 4th wide for St. Mochtas. It'll matter not at this stage as we enter the final minute of the 64-17 to 13 points. 16-point margin at this point to the Mochtas, who are on their way to a a second Cardinal O'Donnell Cup, and they're second in just 3 years, in fact, as well. Joes have possession, but inside their own 45 with Ben Collier. Helps it on to Kieran Johnson. Staunton over to the far side of the field now. Through to Jack Mulligan. Stepping inside is Quigley, trying to find a yard of space for himself. It's a good ball. Is there a finish at the end of it? And a good score, in fact, as well. Conan Smith has got the point for the Joes, their 14th. And Colin Smith tags on a late consolation score as we enter stoppage time. Can't imagine there'll be too much added by Stephen Johnson. And there's not, in fact. He blows the full-time whistle and puts the Joes out of their misery. But for St.Mochtas, well, it's a perfect preparation for them ahead of the championship, collecting a Cardinal O'Donnell Cup, and a really, really tidy performance to boot. Comfortable victors in the end. 3 second half goals really copper fastened the victory for them. But it was all down to that first half, really, against the breeze. Led by a goal and 12 to 5 points. A brilliant purple patch before half time. Struck 1-6 unanswered. I never really looked back after that. A brief recovery from the Joes in the second half. 2-point frees from Alan Quigley, threatened to make a game of it. But those 3 goals which were ran in the last 20 minutes, well, they were... They just really rubber stamped the victory for the Mochtas. Another title for them. Perfect preparation for Stephen Poacher. Work to do for the Joes ahead of the championship. They'll be in with the Martins and Newtown Blues in what looks like a incredibly competitive and tricky group. But for Mochtas ahead of the start of the championship, ideal preparation as they collect a second Cardinal O'Donnell Cup in just 3 years. And that is it from us here in Darver. As it finishes, St.Mochtas 4 goals and 17, St. Joseph's 14 points. Men versus boys, wasn't it? Oh. Obviously, Annie, to my mind, Decky's the only one I'd really. Can we get this? Stephen, start taking up the fire. Everybody, can just get your attention, please.
Sorry, excuse me. Listen, I'd just like to start off by thanking the ground staff here at Darver. I have to say tonight, the pitch was in absolutely fantastic condition, so thanks very much to the ground staff at Darver here. I'd like to thank Stephen and his team of officials for refereeing and for the linesmen, for the umpires. Done a great job tonight. It was a great free-flowing game of football, so thanks very much to the officials. Very important, we thank our sponsor, John O'Neill Sand and Gravel here. John does great work with the Live GA and with the leagues here, so thanks very much, John, for all your support. And thanks for your help. I'd like to especially thank both teams. It was a great game of football tonight. I know it didn't go the way the Joes here played a great game of football, and I have to say, lads, your teams, to get to a league final where you have come in a very short space of time, you should be exceptionally proud of what you are doing. I have no doubt in the next couple of years you're going to be a force to be reckoned with live. There's no question about that. You have a bunch of young guys here, you got a bunch of young footballers. You are playing fantastic football, and to get to a league final and the Division 1 final, absolutely fantastic achievement, lads. Fair play to you. Well done to you and your management. I'd like to thank the Mochtas here. A great game of football, lads. Thank you very much. You've come out, you've played a great game. It was very tight for the first 15-20 minutes. You've just got ahead then there towards the end of the first half. And the second half, Joe's come out again, put it up to you. But as you've got the game went on, you've progressed out there. So congratulations and well done. Well done to the team, to the management and to your club and committee. So well done. Lastly, I would just like to thank the supporters. We had great crowds out here tonight. Both sides of the field were completely lined. So for both sets of supporters, fair play and well done. Thanks very much for coming out. I'd just like to ask the team captains to come up, and John, you might come up here as well, please. Last John's responsible to present the cup here, please. Just over the ladder here. Just around this, will you please? Okay. Okay. Sorry. This way, please. Guys, just say a few words just on behalf of, I suppose, our team and management. First and foremost, I want to thank the Louth County Board for facilitating the league competition. We definitely can't complain. There's plenty of football, there's games week in, week out, so fair play to the County Board on that. To Stephen and his officials, thank you for putting on a good show tonight. And to Darver, pitching immaculate condition. If you can't play on that, you just can't play, simple as. To our supporters, it's the reason, you're the reason why we do it. Friends, family, kids, whatever it may be, it's to inspire the next generation. So we can bring something back to you, and you can be proud of it tonight anyway. And to a bunch of players from the start of the year, commitment's no issue in Louth Village. You have to be running lads out of gyms, out of tell you the truth. So top class lads, and we go on now and try and build going into championship. So well done, lads. In there everybody touching there. Hey, I'm coming home and count.
Yeah, just do it here. Yeah, just do it here.
This is switch on, you're ready to rock.
Ready to rock, yeah.
Perfect.
I'll tell you, I've that one there as well. Just
Perfect,
click that on there as well.
Do you want me to...
Just throw it on there.
I have a good history with the music. I'll chat you around the road. You get in for a few pints? I'm not driving, so Kevin's driving tonight, thank God. Not here. Yeah. No, yeah, that's grand, yeah. Yeah, all good. No bad, yeah.
All right, Stephen, many congratulations. A comprehensive league final win in the end. You must be delighted with the performance.
Absolutely delighted, David. Yeah, absolutely delighted. I thought the boys were magnificent now from minute 1 to minute 60. We never let up, and you know there was a real relentless hunger there. We lost last year's final to RD, having led the league for the whole year, and look, you know what, we won tonight, which obviously is important, but probably over the course of 16 games, when you finish top of the league, maybe the team that finishes top should win it, you know, but you have to play the final, and look, it was a good occasion. It's brilliant for the lads after having lost one last year to win it this year was obviously very enjoyable, you know.
Obviously you were boosted by the return of some county men, but how pleased were you throughout the campaign that, you know, without them consistently you were winning games? You only lost a couple in the group phase.
And listen, David, look, we blooded a lot of young lads this year, like, you know, the likes of Conor McKenna and, you know, Oisin and young Sean and Andrew, like young minors, like, you know, coming in and holding the fort while the more established players were away. We'd obviously Shane and Dan had a fantastic year with Louth under 20s. Louth were brilliant this year under 20. Obviously Louth season went in deep into the summer, and look, obviously that was a big loss for us as a group, you know. But when those boys come back, the standard train. But the thing of it is, when those lads are away, you still have the Decky Burns this world, the Darren McMahons, the Andrew Inglis's, you know, those established senior players driving standards in training, driving things on, and that's important, you know.
The game itself, obviously in the first half you played against a pretty stiff breeze. You really went after the Joe's kickouts. You dominated your own, you also dominated theirs, and that was massive. It gave you a perfect platform.
That's the game now, David. Unfortunately, that's the game. The rules have dictated now that kickouts are now a contest, you know, and if you can get primary possession with kickouts, as Kerry showed in the All-Ireland final, and then it's what you do then with the possession after that. And I just thought we pressed, you know, St. Josephs, we pressed them really well in the league game. We felt we could get joy. We did a lot of work this last couple of weeks maybe in getting our press set up, and I thought tonight the boys were absolutely magnificent in the way they executed the plan.
Then in the second half, how impressed were you with the ruthless nature? Obviously you got 3 further goals in that second half, and never really let up. All the subs that come on had a big impact.
Yeah, look, we've 24, 25 men that are playing well. Everyone's playing well and training well, and it's a good trait to have. And look, listen, there's a lot of hunger. Like Conor Garland made his first appearance there in a long time. Like Conor was out, shattered his arm against Pats, actually in the first day of the season, way back in April time, I think it was. Like, so he's played about 30 minutes of football, so it was brilliant to get him in tonight. And obviously with Ben and Sean away with the hurlers as well, and they haven't played a lot of football. So look, there's a real hunger, because lads know that if they're not doing the business, there's a lot of that looking over their shoulder trying to get in. Obviously we know Casey tonight as well, he's injured, and Ashley broke his arm during the week as well, broke his hand. So look, listen, it's just good that we've deepened our squad this year. It's fantastic. Like, you know.
What is the update with Casey Byrne?
Well, Casey be grand, still nipping the hamstring, and look, listen, you know, it's important that you don't risk these things either, like, you know. So there's obviously, hopefully, please God, there's bigger games ahead, you know.
That's the second league title in 3 years. You're beaten obviously in the final last year as well. You could see on the field after the game, you know, that people are craving success in this club. I mean, the championship's just around the corner. You're obviously going to be a big player in it. How close do you think you can get?
Listen, look, we all know that RD, like, and look, they've strengthened even greater this year. You know, they've added, you know, inter-county experience to their team and to their background team, you know, and listen, look, we know it's going to be a serious challenge, like, for any team to dethrone them, but we're not looking at RD. We're just looking at Dreadnoughts in that first game. You know, coached and managed by 2 down men that I know very well. They'll have the team very well organised. You know, Dreadnoughts are a very good side. Obviously, Anthony's come back into the team, and Dermot as well. You know, a 3 and a 6 coming in at county level is a massive boost to any club team. So we'll have our hands full.
You'll enjoy tonight first, I'm sure.
Well, look, the boys need to enjoy it, because they probably didn't really get to enjoy the last one, and it's only the second one in the club's history.
Yeah.
And I think, David, you know, life is very negative at times. There's a lot of stuff goes on, and in young lads' lives, and sometimes they don't get the opportunity to enjoy these things with this awful culture and the GA drink bans, and you're not allowed to do this, not allowed to do that. We've encouraged the lads to socialise together. We played Martins a few weeks ago in a league game, and we made sure that every man, woman and child was out for a beer after together, and that's important. That the whole social side of things now, there's a lot more things to life than football, and these nights have to be enjoyed, and they have to be really, really enjoyed. You look out here, family, friends, community, and that's what it's all about. That's what the GA is all about. And look, myself and Kevy and Shane and Colin, the management team there, we're very, very lucky to have a really, really supportive group behind us in the committee, really supportive families behind the players as well. And look, Louth Village is it's football mad, it really is. Look, I just hope that it's the first of many titles for the group.
Please God, well done.
Thanks very much. Thank you, David. Thanks very much.
Dickie Byrne, Mochtas captain, many congratulations, Dick. A really, really accomplished performance in the league final tonight. You must be thrilled with it.
Yeah, no, we turned up. We knew that if we turned up and we put in a performance that we're capable of, that we probably would have too much on the night. And that's not begrudging Dromiska. They've been top class all year, and I probably should have mentioned them there in the speech. They're probably just at the bottom of the curve, trying to build themselves up to that level. And we probably have years of experience behind us now at this stage, and have played in league finals and kind of know what it feels like to lose one. And I just thought tonight we probably brought a real game, and they probably suffered on the back of that.
I spoke to Stephen Poacher, and he talked about the fact you finished top of the league phase, and it would have been a travesty to lose a final after probably doing a pillar to post job throughout the league. Is that something that maybe motivated the group coming into tonight?
Well, we knew if we turned up here tonight and we took our eye off the ball that they are very capable of clipping anyone. They've showed throughout the league that they've been banging in goals left, right and centre. So we knew we had to be tuned in coming up here, and we really well focused on putting in performance. As you say, the league table probably isn't lie. We finished with 33 points in the league. We've been able to give boys games throughout it. There's some games, David, we've went into and we've been missing 10 players, and we were still able to put out a strong rifle. So that probably says something about the squad and what Stevie and Kevin and that have done around the place. So we're in a good place, but we know it's a league at the end of the day. We have to build ourselves again for champion.
In addition to obviously collecting the league, was it important 2 weeks out from championship? There's a lot of talk about the Marys and the Martins naturally as well, to put your own bit of a statement out there and show teams that you're going to be thereabouts as well.
Listen, it was a once-off game, Davey. We just wanted to collect the League Cup here tonight. We were betting league final last year, and it hurt. People say it's only the league, but at the end of the day, there's 3 trophies in Louth that you can win each year. You have a Shilling Cup, you have a league, and you have a championship. So we've got our hands on one of them, and we just hope that it maybe just can get us moving now into the championship, and then we've 3 or 4 weeks to build.
On the game itself, obviously, first half playing against the Breeze, you did a lot of the heavy lifting, dominating that middle third on both kickouts. That was massive. You had yourself a handsome lead at half time.
Yeah, well, we probably went after Adam's kick out there. Maybe in the first half we had his own press on, and we got ourselves. It's a lottery nowadays. It doesn't really. You can be set up as best you possibly can, but it's the way the ball is going to fall. And we were lucky enough. We picked up maybe 6 or 7 kickouts in a row, and I think we left for the score every time. And that probably was a dagger to their heart. And we built up a big lead in the first half. And we knew that if we just kept the scoreboard picking in the second half, that we'd do enough to win the game.
Obviously, nice to pick up a second one in 3 years. It's only your second adult title at senior level as well, and you could see from the people on the field afterwards what it means, Dick, as well.
And listen, Davey, it's a wonderful club. We live in great football in Louth. There's nothing really else to do. Like the rest of the county, they're wonderful people, and we just want to I suppose do them proud, and we suppose we've done that here tonight. And our second league title, it's not too bad in 3 years picking up 2 titles. So it's fantastic for the small club.
On a personal level for the Byrne household, another trophy into the cabinet as well. It's been some year.
Yeah, it has been some year. Casey picking up the Leinster title, the 20s, I suppose, being involved with them, and then Emo winning there last weekend, picking up a wee bit more silver here. But listen, you're on a crest of a wave. You got to ride it. There's been years where I've seen junior football, Davey. I know what it feels like. So we've built ourselves from the bottom, and I'm lucky enough that we have a good enough side here at the minute. But we want to push on. There's no qualms. You see there at the end of the final whistle, 2 years ago, there was rapturous celebration, but it was a wee bit more muted there tonight. We were just kind of happy to get the job done and to take it back to the village.
2 weeks out from championship, you'll obviously enjoy tonight, and rightly so, but obviously not taking the eyes off the big prize. And you know, tonight will count for very little unless you do kick on and really make an impression.
Yeah, listen, that can't be our best performance of the year, because if that's our best performance of the year, we're on the other side of the service. You know, we have a tough group with two really good championship teams in the Dreadnoughts and St. Patrick's, so we're going to have to be on guard and be at our very, very best to take both of them, and that's what we'll be looking to do. And we've a few men to come back into it. Hopefully we can get them back from injury. Like Oisin Callan, I want to mention him there tonight. Like, he couldn't play. He's probably been one of our best players all league, and he broke his hand there the other night. So, and obviously there Casey as well. So we have a few men to come back into it that will strengthen us. So listen, we need all them boys to beat the Ardies and the Martins of this world.
You're still going strong. The couple of warm weather training camps are probably doing you good.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm going strong to the street now. The quiet, I'm starting to feel the wee niggles here, left, right, and centre. But listen, when you're able to give, I suppose you keep going, and that's the way I look at it. Like, you'd be long enough sitting on a bar stool and not playing football. So I'll keep going as long as my body feels like it's able to carry you through.
Well played tonight. Wish you well for the championship.
Thank you very much. Cheers, boss.
Enjoy tonight. Good man. Well done.
That's great.
Thanks, Davey.
Thanks, lads. All the best.
Brilliant. Well done.
Cheers. Thanks, Jay.
Oh, what a fair play to you, bye. It's like you coming out today.
I just didn't have the me jersey out, that's all.
Do you want to see it?